Lots of things, but well, you know, for me, this role had been sort of the character and the role had been sort of created back when we were doing Pulp Fiction, and then sort of gone away and then come back, and he let me into his creative process in this amazing way of, you know, reading to me scenes as he was writing them, as he was shaping the movie, and letting me be a sounding board and watch him build the movie. And so I kind of was amazed, shocked, horrified, excited, blown away. You know, the day he called me and read me the scene where I felt he captured the voice of the character, I got to go through incrementally, like, all those experiences with him. So by the time I got the 222-page script that was, you know, that thick, by the time I got there, I was very much inside the world that he was creating. And even then, I mean, you know, it's this sort of amazing disbelief, like, what is he going to have me do? Like, what is he thinking? I mean, you know, how's he going to do that? Gee, I'm sure he'll figure it out. Little did I know that I, too, would have to figure it out. But, so it was sort of a very long process, really, that it was never, like, I never had that moment where you sort of read a finished script from somebody that you know or don't know, and you go, oh, I like this, or oh, I don't like this. And I was sort of, I felt like I was always inside the movie. So as it was created, I was just trying to imagine how on earth I was going to handle it.
Now tell me a little bit about your character. What makes her tick?
Heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
In what aspect?
Well, I mean, it's a story of a trained assassin who it gets pregnant and decides that, you know, she's a life giver and doesn't want to be a life taker, and tries to leave the fold, and has the most brutal revenge for that act, you know, enacted on her. And she sort of comes back pretty much from the dead, in a way, with nothing left to live for but to sort of redeem her honor and die having done that in some way.
Oh, so what was the most physically challenging aspect of this, making this movie?
I don't think there is an aspect of the movie that wasn't physically challenging. You know, it is a physical film. It's a sensory film. It's a tactile film. It's an experience movie more than it is about narrative or this or that. You know, the classic constructs that make a story. It's about going through an ordeal, and the character goes through a tremendous ordeal, and it's a struggle.
Were you ever worried at any point how the audiences were going to receive you as, like, this ass-kicking machine?
I always had my fears. I had my fears. Was I going to be able to pull it off? Was I not? Was the joke on me? Was his black comedy twist going to be that I'm ridiculous? You know, like, look at this big, silly blonde girl swinging the sword. You know, he asked the world of me, and I asked it of myself, and it was the greatest stretch I ever had to make.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's great, and the movie was great. And